Hello, power players. Welcome to the T-shirt transfer paper power half hour brought to you by the fine folks here at Condé Systems Incorporated. My name's Doug DeWitt, product manager here at Condé Systems and host of the show. Welcome to it. Riding with me in the director's chair today. He wasn't able to make it last week because he was on vacation, but I hope he enjoyed that vacay because we are happy to have our sidekick back, and that would be Rodeo Bo. And Rodeo, we got a great show for the power people today, but before we can get started, what do we have to do? We got to pay the power bill. And folks, we got a big power bill today because, you know, it's been 100 degrees here. We've been running the AC. So let's go ahead and get to it. First off, want to let everyone out there know about our Christmas in July promotion. And let's start out with is that we are offering a $20 off coupon for orders over $200 or more. That information is available on our website, condé.com. Click on the banner, get the coupon code, and use it. Okay. Also in July, as part of our Christmas in July promotion, we are giving out free technical support. Now, here at Condé Systems, we support everything we sell. Now, this month, we'll even support things that you didn't buy from us, and we will do it for free throughout the month of July. Just so you know, our tech support is available 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time, Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time. You can give us a call to our tech support department through our 800 number, or you can send an email to support@condé.com. Now, as part of our Christmas in July, of course, it's going to culminate with our virtual open house, which is running July 28th through July 30th. That's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday at the end of July. Registration is free, ladies and gentlemen. Go to our website, click on the banner for more information. But so you know, everyone who registers for our virtual open house is entered in our grand prize giveaway during it. And I was looking over the list today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be offering or giving away a George Knight DK14S heat press. We're going to be giving away a Sawgrass SG1000 printer bundle. Grand prize winner is going to get an Epson F570 printer bundle. Okay, so make sure you register. Worst thing that could happen is you catch a bunch of classes, you learn about a bunch of new products getting ready to hit, and you take advantage of tremendous specials. That's the worst that can happen to you. But you could be that lucky winner that goes home with the Epson F570 bundle, and that's going to be during our virtual open house. So make sure you register. Go to condé.com for more details. And last but not least, we have a new quarterly gallery contest. It is Sublimation Schoolhouse. We want to see your best back-to-school sublimation ideas. Submit your entries on our website, and you could win. Third place winner gets $100 in Condé credit. Second place winner gets $200 in Condé credit. And the first place winner, $400 in Condé credit. And all you got to do is submit your best back-to-school sublimation products through our quarterly gallery contest. Of course, that information's on the website. Make sure you check it out. Okay, Bo, I said it was going to be a big power bill, but we finally got it paid, and now we can get to what we want to talk about today, which is being able to do dark garment transfers onto cotton or cotton poly blends. Now, normally for this process here at Condé, we recommend going with a white toner system because white toner systems have the ability to self-weed and go on to a variety of different colors and material contents. But what if you're not there yet? What if you're just starting out? Maybe you got a little couple $100 color laser printer. Maybe you have one of these craft cutters there at your shop. You got to start somewhere, right? So we're going to discuss the products that will get you started in the dark garment transfer business, and that's using what we called opaque material. Now, what we're going to talk about specifically today is opaque material for color laser printers and color laser copiers. And we are going to talk about our new paper, which we call Condé LaserMPrints Opaque 2. And we are going to compare it side by side with what we consider to be the industry standard as far as a laser opaque material, and that would be the LASER-1 Opaque from Neenah Coldenhove. So let's go ahead and get started, and let's talk about the size offerings available for both and the cost per sheet. As far as these papers are concerned, both of them are going to be available in letter size, which is 8.5" by 11", or tabloid size, which is 11 by 17. So it's cut sheet media. Both products are designed to run through your newer, what we call non-oil color laser printers and color laser copiers. Now, when you run these materials through a color laser printer or a color laser copier, it's not like running regular bond paper. These materials are thicker than your average materials that you're going to feed through your laser printer. So you're going to have to let your laser printer know that you're running a heavy stock or thick stock media. And if your printer has a bypass or multi-purpose tray, you're definitely going to want to run both products from that bypass source. Now, as far as the cost is concerned, when it comes to the price of these two papers, they basically break down to the same cost per print. As far as the paper is concerned, you're looking at about 95 cents to $1 per sheet for 8.5" by 11" or letter size, up to about $1.95 to $2 per sheet for your tabloid or 11 by 17. Now, when you consider the price of doing self-weeding transfers is more than double that, you could see where a system like this using, what we call a single sheet opaque material would have an advantage. Where that advantage really comes into play is if you're doing a full bleed graphic, you're doing a photographic reproduction or a full art print. Where it can get tricky is if you're doing an intricate design like we showed earlier, and you have to employ something like a craft cutter in order to get the job done. But we're going to go ahead and roll through these steps today. First thing we want to do is talk about the printing ability of both these papers. And again, we're talking about the Neenah Coldenhove LASER-1 Opaque versus our new Condé LaserMPrints Opaque 2. Yeah, keep all that straight. What I did, Rodeo, for time purposes, I went ahead and outputted some samples so that we could get an idea of how these print. And as far as these samples were concerned, I produced these samples off of an Oki Pro 9541 WT printer. Basically, this would be like our state-of-the-art tabloid plus size 5-color printer. Now, of course, since we're printing onto a white back opaque material, I was able to turn the white toner off essentially and use it as 4-color process. Now, Bo, I'm going to hold these prints up to the zoom camera so that people can get a better shot. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this example right here, this is the Neenah Coldenhove LASER-1 Opaque material. And this here is the Condé LaserMPrints Opaque 2. So as you can see, as far as print quality is concerned, they both did an excellent job running through a $14,000 color laser printer, or white toner printer, pardon me, that was basically designed for running t-shirt transfers. Well, what if you just have something stock like this HP here? What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out some samples. And again, I went ahead and printed these before the show in the effort to save a little time. I'm going to set these side by side here. Let me flip the images around. Is that better? Yeah, that looks better. Thank you, Rodeo. All right, so this example here, this is the Neenah LASER-1 Opaque, and right here is the Condé LaserMPrints Opaque. We ran both of these through a Hewlett-Packard M452 color laser printer, the type of printer that you could find at most places like Walmart or Best Buy or something to that effect. But Bo, if we could get back to the overhead again real quick, I wanted to show people something here. And that is one thing you will notice as far as a difference between the two is the physical thickness of the paper. Now you'll notice here on the Condé laser imprints, we were able to get this full bleed design without any type of toner scatter. But here with the Neenah Coldenhove LASER-1 Opaque, down toward the bottom of the page here, I'm seeing what I would call toner scatter. You see how it shows up there? Bo, I'm going to go back to the zoom camera so I can show people. This is the Neenah LASER-1 Opaque, ran through a Hewlett-Packard. And as you can see, down at the bottom of the print, I get a little bit of toner scatter. And basically what's happening there is that the fuser is running out of heat. Because this is a thick material, it absorbs a lot of heat off the fuser. But once you get to the bottom of the sheet, if you don't have enough heat, the fuser doesn't properly bond and it scatters. Thank you, Bo. Now, by the same token, yes, I'm going back. Thank you, Bo. Here is the Condé LaserMPrints Opaque 2. Now, you'll notice here, down at the bottom of the sheet, there's no toner scattering, okay? And what I think lends itself to this, or the attribute of it, is because this is a physically thinner sheet than the Neenah LASER-1 Opaque. So if you basically have a heavy-duty laser printer where the fuser gets up to enough heat, thank you, Rodeo. If you got a laser printer where your fuser gets up to enough heat, then you should be able to run the Neenah LASER-1 Opaque and be fine. But when you start to get into a less expensive machine and that fuser basically is not designed for running a thick material, it helps to be able to run a thinner material through. And in this example, I would give the Condé LaserMPrints Opaque 2 the thumbs up over the Neenah. So in other words, you know, if you got a good color laser printer or color laser copier, you should be fine with either one. But I think as you start to kind of move down the food chain, so to speak, on these color laser printers, you're probably better off going with the Condé version because it is a thinner material. All right, so if the Condé is a thinner material, then how will it stand up to cutting? Because anybody who has ever used Neenah Coldenhove LASER-1 Opaque knows that it cuts fairly easy with a craft cutter. Can we get the same result with our Condé LaserMPrints? Well, that's what we're going to try right now. So what I've got here is I have got my Silhouette Cameo, and we are going to load up a transfer. And I'll go ahead and pull one here. Printed this right before the show. And we're going to go ahead and send it through our cutter to see how it cuts. Now, the first thing I have to do here is align it. And this takes me a few seconds to do because I am normally not a print and weed guy. Bo, if you could give me the overhead. What you'll notice here, ladies and gentlemen, is I've got my registration marks printed. Let me go ahead and turn on my Silhouette. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Did somebody unplug the Silhouette when I wasn't looking? Okay. Well, folks, we're having some technical difficulties with our Silhouette here. I apologize. But in the meantime, I've already took the liberty of cutting out a few. So, Bo, let's just go to my overhead and I'll show an example that I did cut. Don't worry about it, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Bo's saying he thinks he's fixed it. but we got to flip the switch. There we go. Thank you, Rodeo. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Always, never happens during rehearsal, always happens live. Okay, so I've got my LaserMPrints Opaque 2 mounted to my silhouette cut sheet. I've got the registration marks printed. We'll go ahead and line this up. Load the material. And I've got my Silhouette Studio loaded on my PC bow. I'm just going to send the cut job real quick. And now we're getting a registration error. All right, let's try this again. Okay. All right, so usually when I get a registration error, ladies and gentlemen, it means I could line it up a little better. So let's try that. Okay. But we're going to give this one more shot, man. Okay. While that's going, I'm going to give a quick peel to this one here. Just to show everyone at home. All right. It looks like once the Cameo actually does decide to work, seems to do a pretty good job of weeding to see if it got inside the design here. Just to demonstrate. Yeah. Now to let everyone at home know, Bo, when it came to the settings that I used on the Silhouette Cameo, I have the blade depth set at 1, the force set at 8, and the speed set to 3. So basically what I would call a low and slow kind of weed here, but it did cut it successfully. The only difference that I noticed from cutting this as opposed to the Neenah LASER-1 Opaque, ladies and gentlemen, is on the blade depth, I set it on the Silhouette Cameo from a 1 to a 2, but I still left the force at 8 and the speed at 3. But as you can see, both of them are able to cut just fine. So let's move on to our next test, which is basically applying the designs here. And I've got some designs that are ready to go. And so let's just do a few side by side. And for demonstration purposes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to use a Hanes BFT 100% cotton. And of course, we're using our George Knight DK20S swing away heat press. When it comes to using an opaque material, whether you use the laser imprints or you use the Neenah LASER-1 Opaque, you're going to need a commercial heat press to apply it. And I'm about to show you why. But first, before we can do that, let's go ahead and come back on camera here, sticky lint roller. Bo, you know I am a stickler for a sticky lint roller. Okay, so what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is we are going to pre-press the material. I'm going to take a sheet of butcher paper to protect the shirt from the whatever might be on the top platen. Now, in some instances, when we're working with a transfer paper and we preheat a garment, we could do a casual preheat, just kind of let the platen fall. But when it comes to a single sheet opaque material, the more flat the surface is, the better it's going to adhere and better it's going to work. So what we want to do is we want to lock in the press when we do our preheat with an opaque material. Also, we want to preheat the shirt at least 10 to 15 seconds. In other words, we want to make sure that there is no moisture on the surface of that material before we lay down our opaque. So now that we've got our preheat done, we've got a nice smooth area to work with. Let's put some of these prints side by side. Now on the top, I am going to put the LASER-1 Opaque. Let me take my pick tool here, get it started. Try this side. There we go. When I've been doing my cutting test, and if I'm wrong, you can correct me, but it seems like the LASER-1 Opaque is a little tougher to separate from the backing sheet as opposed to the LaserMPrints Opaque. Now, when it comes to our LaserMPrints product, the one thing I've noticed is the backing sheet and the materials seem to have a little bit more tact, so it might be difficult to separate what I would call, a multi-cut design. But something that's single cut, you should be able to remove the film from the backing sheet like so. And another thing about these designs are, because we're using an opaque material, we do not mirror or reverse our print. We are printing them right reading. So what I have here, I've got both these prints lined up. We want to flatten the material on the t-shirt as best we can, because we want to make sure that all points come in contact with the fabric. Now, we have to put some silicone sheets over the design. The silicone sheets are going to protect the toner and the opaque film from possibly sticking to the platen. So let me go ahead and cover those up here and here. Now, a pro tip I'd like to offer you is, what I've got is about 5 or 6 sheets of 11-inch by 17-inch copy paper that I have taped together. And we are going to put that over our area. And the reason that we're doing this, ladies and gentlemen, is because when I drop the press down, these extra 5 or 6 sheets will apply a little bit more pressure here. The point is to get that opaque material flat And so when we're able to do that, we're able to press it flat. It doesn't mean what's going to end up happening is we're not going to have any puckered corners or edges. Okay, so it's just a little trick to solve that issue. Now, because I'm using 5 sheets of copy paper over the material, and because I do have that silicone sheet, both the Neenah Coldenhove LASER-1 Opaque and our Condé LaserMPrints Opaque 2, they both press at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 seconds with a medium to heavy pressure. Okay, so seeing how both use the same time, temperature, and pressure to apply to a cotton or cotton poly blend, what I've done is I've added about 5 degrees to the temperature and about an extra 5 seconds to the dwell time. And that's to compensate for my 5 sheets of paper here. But I'll go ahead and remove that. Oops. Okay. Hold this up here. So the top one is the Neenah LASER-1 Opaque. The bottom one, Condé LaserMPrints Opaque 2. Okay. Back to me, Bo.
Doug, what printer did you use?
What printer did I use? Okay, thank you, Rodeo. For my testing today, I used 2 printers. I used an Opaque 9541 WT printer, which is a tabloid plus 5-station white toner printer. Since I was running a single sheet opaque material, I just turned the white off. But basically, it's our $14,000 top of the line white toner printer. So I fed the material through that, and I also fed material through this Hewlett-Packard Color LaserJet M452 model. This is the type of printer that you could get from a local big box store and get it for a couple of $100s. So basically what I was trying to do is demonstrate the high end and the low end of printers that this material or these materials can run through. Basically, if you have a color laser printer or a color laser copier, you should be able to run either opaque material. You just need to tell your printer that you're running a heavy or thick material. And my suggestion is if your unit has a bypass tray, run the paper from the bypass tray. As far as they are concerned, they're both able to run through a typical, vinyl cutter or a CAD cutter. So you can pick and weed the excess material, or you could use a pair of scissors and cut away that excess material, which is ever easier for you. As far as what they can apply to, they can apply to cotton and cotton poly blends up to about a 50-50. Beyond that, you want to use a different material because you run the risk of what we call dye migration. There is a dye migration video on Condé TV if you need more information on that particular system and how to combat it. But essentially, the papers work the same. They are priced the same. As far as the feel on the garment is concerned, they're about the same. The only real difference, like I said, is the feel of the material itself. The LaserMPrints Opaque 2 is a thinner material, and I think it will do a better job of running through your less expensive machines. If you've got a high-end color laser printer or color laser copier, you should be just fine running the Neenah Coldenhove product, the LASER-1 Opaque. What you basically want to test is a full bleed design, and you want to test for what we call toner scatter. Easiest way to do it is just rub it with your fingertip. If no toner comes off on your fingertip, the toner is properly bonded to the opaque material, and you should be good to proceed to go onto your garment. I hope that answers that question. Should you have any other questions about the content that we covered today, feel free to leave a comment either through Facebook or through YouTube. Bo and I go through them. We always answer those questions that come through our comments. If you like this video, if you think it would help out others in the industry, be sure to share it. I don't mind. Also wanted to let you know, since we did have to postpone the show a week, well, now we got to catch up. So we will be back next week not in 2 weeks, but next week. And what we're going to show you in this show is basically the inkjet version of these papers. We're going to do the same type of testing, cutter test, application test, put them side by side, see how they work. And that's going to be comparing our brand new Condé LaserMPrints Opaque 2. And of course, we're going to go against the industry standard, the Neenah 3G Jet Opaque. So that video is next Tuesday. It's going to air at 3:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So make sure to tune in next week. I will be back next week, and I look forward to seeing you on another episode of the T-Shirt Transfer Paper Power Half Hour. Until then, I'm Doug DeWitt, Product Manager here at Condé Systems. Our time is up. Well, we thank you for yours.